Right.
Yeah.
But who's okay with this?
Yeah. That's
true. She has said something to the effect of, like, you know, my healthy husband. I mean, she's said in the past, she's defended him.
No, see, that's the thing. I think she's been okay with stuff in the past.
Right.
This time he raped the help. And I think that even though, yes, he's got the bracelet. Allegedly, sorry. Let's throw the alleged in post anyway. But the fact of the matter is, now instead of jail, he's going back to his wife. I think that's worse. I think he ended up getting the worst punishment.
That's going to be the punishment.
But the thing is, he has done things just like this.
Right.
And
he's been accused of things.
He's been accused of these things, but the women, women in his own party have said that he got, the mother of one of these girls, and then these other people that have been showing up, and then you have this anonymous book, which maybe you can't, say is real. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just the French have this bizarre concept of privacy, and what is private and what is public. And, there are a lot of French journalists, actually, who are bringing up, well, maybe this concept is bunk. Maybe as journalists, we need to be going out and pursuing accusers, especially, he has a history of women publicly saying he's a dog.
I hope he goes to jail. That would be quite
amusing. To an American jail?
Yeah, it would be great. And a great sitcom. All right, so last night I told you how much I enjoy collecting armpit hair from hobos, and I do. So keep sending it in. But I also love charity. So let's get to my latest piece of art. I call this Surfing Corn. The latest bid, comes from David Crutchfield from Sparks, Nevada. Yep, people do live in Sparks, Nevada. I only thought Snoopy's brother lived there, and I looked it up, and it was actually Needles, California. Remember Spike?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. David bid $700, and he said he'd offer an extra $50 for each Twitter follow he gets from the Red Eye crew, i.e. me, Andy, and Bill, which means he bid $700. So the rest of you have till Friday to make a bid. Email your offer to redeye@foxnews.com to be considered. I guess that's tomorrow. And as you know, all this money goes to TAPS, a nonprofit group that provides grief counseling and support programs to families of fallen soldiers. You can go to taps.org to learn more. And let's not forget the real message. It's not about charity. It's about me. I'm hoping to get a rest stop named after me. God knows I use them enough. And it's so ironic because I never rest there. Coming up, so what was it like for Meryl Streep to play Margaret Thatcher? Bill Schultz files his 17-part story next. But first, are those playmates at the Playboy Mansion? Someone call David Spade and Rob Schneider. So no more hiding it between the mattresses. Playboy's moving its entire catalog online. Yep, the magazine has launched a web-based subscription service, sexy, that allows you to see every single page of every single magazine, from the first issue nearly 60 years ago to the one on newsstands today. Says Playboy's chief content officer, Jimmy Jelinek, quote, they no longer have to store 57 years, 682 issues of Playboy under their mattress. Hey, that sounds familiar. I just said that. Playboy's circulation has dropped from over 3 million in 2006 to 1.5 today, and the mag's been trying gimmicks to bring readers back, like 3D glasses. And 3D glasses. And you know what else? 3D glasses. Anyway, subscribers to the service will also have access to Playboy videos, much like this one. You act like you don't understand that video.
I have those holsters.
That video satisfies me on 18 different levels. I'm like a parking garage of fetishes. Hey, Jedediah, why not Playgirl? Isn't this sexist?
Oh gosh, you know what? I don't think any of it's going to make money. And look what you can get for free these days. I mean, tell them, Bill. Tell them.
Must be 18 or over, must be 18 and over.
If you have to pay, and if they are interested in these old issues, let's face it, people are going to sign up for 1 month, and then they're going to be out of there. They don't need to do this for you. You can do stuff for free.
But you know what's depressing, John? It signifies the death of an era. No teen will ever steal their dad's Playboy from the linen closet, which is where my dad kept the one and only Playboy he had for 5 years. I mean, 5 years?
That's sad.
How wrinkly did that get?
Yeah, right.
In your possession?
It looked like the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead 2. They're actually demons coming out of it. I apologize.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm crying. But don't you agree?
Remember what? Was that your dad?
Yeah, my dad had an old Playboy. No, that like growing up, there was the novelty of finding this thing, and you can't find it anymore, and it's actually ubiquitous.
Well, let me speak from the point of view of a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
It's great. I don't ever want to go back.
Yeah.
That's just nostalgia. Look, this is great. Playboy is an institution. Remember, it is a magazine that at various points was able to piss off both feminists and social conservatives at the same time, and that's something magical. So I'm all about archiving these. Putting them in the archive, putting them in the iPad, and then putting them in that giant warehouse where the Ark of the Covenant is.
There you go. Veronica, does anybody really need to see this stuff?
I don't think so anymore, really. I mean, I feel like it's a regression of some sort. It's kind of like someone, like, why would someone skip out on seeing, like, 7 slutty schoolgirls taking 85 ways?
Interviews. They always talk about those interviews as something great, but there were, like, 50 pages. I could never get. Who wanted to read an interview by Jimmy Carter? Bill, here's the thing that drives me crazy. Someone had to scan each page. How much did they pay you?
Oh, I did it for free. Are you kidding me? I'm a supporter. So let me get this straight. They are now offering, you can now go online and view naked pictures via a search engine. Playboy is once again ahead of the curve, guys. This is unbelievable. And the great thing is Playboy's got ahead of the internet because they're charging you for it. Most of the time, I can do this for free, but now I get to pay for the pleasure of doing this.
It's an important database of historical images.
Yes, I get where you're coming from, and also, basically, what you're saying is you can't get a thrill out of it anyway because it's so safe and so stale.
I like to go back and look at photos from the '60s.
Yeah. And wonder,
and then imagine what they look like.
Wonder what hair,
I talked about this.
Hair on themselves.
The website. There should be a website. I talked about this before. that chronicles everybody who's been naked and where they are now. Right. Because the girls I was looking at in We magazine in 1975 have to be 70. They have to be. They probably wait on me at the 7-Eleven. But I want to bring up one last point. Playboy to me only really mattered in a barber shop. Anybody remembers as a kid when your dad would bring you in and you would just sit there and the Playboy would be right there?
What barbershop did you?
Every barbershop had a Playboy.
Okay, no, I didn't.
I'm talking the Barber's Joe's in San Mateo on 27th Street.
My barber just gave me a book of highlights and I went to it.
No, okay. What they did, every local barbershop had this, a stack of magazines, and you had the Sports Illustrated and the Boys Life and the Rifle mags, and then they'd have the Playboy right under there, and then you just have to sit there and while the line is moving, try to get the magazine out of there before anybody saw it, and get it inside the other magazine so no one else could tell. And I always got caught.
That's like the sweetest coming of age story ever.
It really is.
But then I shot the barber, and that's why you don't hear about it much. I was away for a while. Gave me a terrible haircut. Hey, do you have a comment on the show? Tell me your stories about barbers. I want to hear them all. Make them as long as possible. 4 or 5 pages. Don't stop. Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail, my direct line, 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report from TV's Andy Levy. That guy has a problem.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by birthday parties, those gatherings of friends and family which celebrate the anniversary of the day of one's birth. Thanks, birthday parties.
Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. Oh, sorry. You busy? Yeah.
Sorry.
What are you doing? You're paying your bills?
No, I had there was some stuff I need to get at the drugstore after work.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Didn't want to forget, Greg.
I know.
Lars von Trier expelled from Cannes. Greg, you referred to von Trier as a fascist filmmaker?
Yes.
Actually, he's a communist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, now he's a commie Nazi.
He's a commie fasci something.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, you said Lars just isn't very smart, that for some reason we elevate filmmakers' intelligence and we shouldn't. I will not sit here and listen to you badmouth Michael Bay and by extension the United States of America, John.
I am a communist, too. What do I say to that? Did you see Antichrist?
What?
Did you see Lars's Antichrist?
I saw 20 minutes of Breaking the Waves, and that's all the Lars von Trier I ever need to see.
It's very true.
Okay.
He sucks.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know what he is? I hate to reuse an old phrase, but he is like the benefit of filmmaking welfare.
Yeah.
It's like he's just kept afloat because his movies are atrocious, like Abel Ferrara. You know, they just are around.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You like him?
I like Abel. Come on, Bad Lieutenant's a great movie.
That's the only good movie he's made. The Funeral was awful.
King of New York?
Yeah.
I never saw that.
I like John Hughes.
King of New York wasn't bad.
Right.
I'm a huge Chris Columbus guy myself. Home Alone 2 was a tour de force.
John, King of New York's the one with Chris Walken, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Maybe I should see that.
Yeah.
I like when people call him Chris. Like
but
they know
but
him.
Von Trier is a pretentious twat. I mean,
Yes.
there's just no way around that. Well, it's a British word.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anybody here would know what that means, right?
It doesn't mean anything. Veronica, you thought it was odd that Von Trier said he wanted to be a Jew, but it turned out he was a Nazi. So here's the deal. He really did think he had a Jewish background until his mother confessed on her deathbed that the man he thought was his father, who was Jewish, wasn't really his biological father, that she had had a tryst with a German dude who is his real father. So that's what he was referring to when he said he turns out he was a Nazi, and he mentions the name Hartman, because I think his dad was actually Phil Hartman, I think.
Oh, I don't know. How dare you besmirch him?
Fritz Hartman. Fritz Hartman. That was my bad.
That
Fritz Hartman.
Nazism is not a race. Why are we acting like it's a race? It's not a race.
No, he was.
It's like if he was like, I found out I was half Spanish. Like if that's a
Right.
different
No,
story.
exactly
It's
right.
like,
I'm
you
half
know.
Nazi. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm 1/16th Nazi.
Right.
Does that qualify for affirmative action?
I think at that point you can start saying we.
We?
Yeah.
As someone with the last name Schultz, I'm uncomfortable with this conversation.
Or are you super comfortable with it?
Must look uncomfortable.
Let your Nazi flag fly, Bill. Let your Nazi flag fly.
We fought on
I
our
can't say
shores.
that.
We're on our side back then. Can't emphasize that enough. Distant relatives, I don't need to know about it.
Jedediah, you're not buying that Von Trier was joking. The Simon Wiesenthal Center agrees with you. They issued a statement saying, please spare us all a meaningless apology written for him by his publicist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I don't buy it, Andy.
Yeah.
Sorry, it rolled off the tongue a little too quickly,
Okay.
if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Makes me feel really bad about collecting all that memorabilia.
Well,
Von Trier.
Yes.
Von Trier memorabilia, you mean?
What?
Von Trier memorabilia.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Action figures, the Dogville action figures.
Yeah. The Antichrist action figures.
Yes, exactly.
John, you compared Von Trier to a teenager who's just trying to shock his dad.
Yeah.
Here's something that I think backs up your theory. This is what he said about his conversion to Catholicism. He said, quote, I don't know if I'm all that Catholic, really. I'm probably not. Denmark is a very Protestant country. Perhaps I only turned Catholic to piss off a few of my countrymen.
Yeah, that's his entire career.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what he sells. He's like a German Howard Stern meets an independent filmmaker.
Yeah.
You know.
There's an amazing hybrid.
I tried.
Yeah.
I know.
I lost the flow there.
You were like Lars von Trier, hoping the sentence was going to end before you. Come on, somebody finish it.
No, but we were all thinking of stuff to jump in, and we couldn't do it either. So don't worry about it.
He also, did you notice, this wasn't in the video because there wasn't video of it, but at the end of that thing, he muttered under his breath, this is not a joke, something about a final solution for journalists.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he said that at the very end. He said that because he was apparently pissed off. Because it was the journalist's fault that he said what he said, of course.
Yeah.
I think it was because he was bombing.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
I mean, he was bombing.
Yeah,
It wasn't just-
he pulled the Michael Richards. It's like he saw it wasn't working, and he says, "Well, if it's
No,
not
I'm a
working, I
Nazi."
might as well just go
Go big.
full Richards," as they call it in the comedy business.
He could have gone further then.
Yeah, he could have got it. Yeah, he could have. Yeah, you know what? If he could have even gone way further with the word that will not be mentioned.
Yeah.
I'm talking, of course, about custard.
Yes, yes. DSK indicted. Greg, in talking about how Kristen Davis has said that DSK has hired some girls from her, you said he asked her company for an all-American girl paying $1,200 an hour for 200 booking, and then you said that's like $250,000?
50,000.
Oh, just 50,000? Okay. Then that might be right.
Yeah.
250 was wrong. I don't know. I don't have a calculator here. I don't. How do I know?
Who owns calculators? I'd hate to have stock in a calculator company right now because no one's buying them.
Do you miss your Texas Instruments? Your
Yeah.
TI-55?
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
I think Playboy's going to launch some, though.
really?
Like a new
line of
type of
calculators,
calculator.
Yeah.
I always was confused by the memory and the memory C.
Yeah. Oh, don't even. Now I just
Why?
feel like I have a test I didn't study for.
Yeah, I was like, why do I need two clear buttons and two
Yeah,
memory
I
buttons?
don't know.
I don't know. You know what? We should do a whole show on that.
We should do A Block tomorrow. It should be all calculators.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking spell.
Yeah. We'll do it on the podcast.
Okay.
Veronica, you brought up how in his letter of resignation from the IMF, DSK mentioned how much he loved his wife. And as Greg pointed out, he's going to be staying with his wife in his daughter's New York City apartment while he awaits his trial. Awkward, right?
A little bit. You could always do some sort of threesome.
Yeah, you know,
It's
it
just
was
like
going to be.
it's like a Curb Your
is France,
It's like
for God's sake.
no, it's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
Yeah.
But it's just you're just cringing and you like have to shut the volume off or something.
But you know who's having the meeting before he comes? Housekeeping.